For those who just logged in, I am getting set up. Oh, and here comes the tree that ate the swan the other night. Right on time. Hey Jeff, let me start capture, auto capture. So I'm capturing images. And it's the big tree in my neighbor's yard. Let me apply a dark now since I just finished taking darks. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Dark field, import, 2 second, open, enable. Okay. So I enabled a 2 second, and this is a 2 second exposure. So let me mark that down. Yeah, I needed one, but the yard is still flooded. Two-second exposure. And when I'm not average stacking right now, I have not average stacked, but I could, let me erase it because right now I am not average stacking. Hey, Matt and Aaron. This is 2 seconds, no stacking, but dark is applied. I made a list of targets for tonight. It'll be interesting to see how many I can get. Oh, that tree is definitely getting closer to the swan. I'm going to try for a few comments tonight. But I wanted to just get everything going first, and then I bet you the eagle's going to be behind the tree.
Telescope slew into target.
It's going to be close.
Telescope slew complete.
Let's go to 4 seconds. And then let me get a 4 second dark. Well, maybe I'm getting reflection off of the dome. Let me see. Yes, I am. Yep, there it is. Oh, got a satellite. Right through the field. Where I'm aimed is, this is the worst light pollution, is to the south southeast to southwest. There's a city of 30 to 40,000, about 3-4 miles south of me. Let me go back to the current comets list. And that one is set. That one is set. That one is too low. That's an Ophiuchus. That's going to be too low. It's only 19 degrees up. Right now I'm 30 degrees up, so I can't go to any of those comets. Yeah, 64P is rising in the east at magnitude 9.9. I'll go for that one later. Giacobini Zinner, nope, that's no good. 46P Withron, it does not rise until about 8 o'clock, but it's going to be low in the south. Forbes is pretty high in the southeast right now in Pisces. And Pan-STAR is in the east. Yep, the Pine Tree Nebula is getting close. Like I said, there is no average stacking right now. This is just a single. I forgot to change. This is a single 4-second exposure. Sure. That zoomed at 100%. That's max zoom 400, 200, 100, and the tree is eating it up. So let's go to something else. Let me go back to fit to field, fit to window. You can see what we're getting ready to get eaten by. What the heck? Let's start with the North American Nebula.
Telescopes moving to target. Telescope slew complete.
Okay. That's North American at 4 seconds. Let's go longer. So let's go to trigger mode. So why will it not allow me to go to trigger mode? I mean, won't let me change. Come on. Okay, let's stop. Let me restart the camera. Trigger mode. Let's go to 8 seconds. 8 seconds, where's the histogram? Let's go to I'm missing part of the North American. Yeah, so I gotta move up. I gotta get Canada out of the top of the field of view. So let me stop. 1 second loop. Okay, let's see what that does. Stop. Going to a 16 second. Let's see if that's going to be too much. $16 is too much. So let's go to, how about 10? I'm looping at 10. That's better. Let me get that bright star off to the I'm going to put that bright star to the left edge. Because maybe I'll be able to get part of the pelican in the same field. Okay, so let's go back to 10 seconds. Looping at 10. And I'm going to import an 8-second. Oh. Okay. Maybe it defaulted to digital binning 1. It did. Okay. Stop. Digital binning 2. Start. Ten-second loop. And now let me apply the dark should match now. White. Histogram. Where's dark? Import an 8-second. Okay. Enable. Now I got an 8-second dark. Yes, it is, Jeff. So this is let me do a white balance maybe. Okay. And then I can darken it up a little bit. Histogram, I'm going to go to 45, 50, 50. Histo, 50 to 150. Let me change that. HISTO 50-150. Okay, and then the exposure is, I got to learn how to talk louder. 10. Ten-second exposure. And the dark is on. Okay. Now let me go for average stacking. I'm going to average stack 5. Let's see what happens. If I don't talk directly into the microphone on the webcam, sometimes it breaks up. So now I am average stacking 5. Average stack 5. Okay. So hopefully this looks good on everybody else's end. Yeah, this is 10 seconds. They have the cooler running at 0 degrees centigrade. It'll go much colder than that, but that Rock recommends setting it for 0. Oh, let me start recapturing images. Capture, auto capture. When I shut it down and start it again, I've lost the capturing. So North American, I'm going to check that on my list that we did look at the North American nebula. A feature I noticed that I had not really observed before is this arcing dark nebulosity coming off of the Mexican coast. Right now I'm zoomed in at 150. Yeah, the stars are much more pinpoint with the 16C, but you have to go with a lot longer exposure. Because the sensor is not as sensitive, and it does not have the high contrast gain. But all in all, for a live view, to me, it's pretty impressive. Well, since I'm in the neighborhood, let's see. Let me go over to Cygnus. And we're centered just about on Houston, I guess it is. Sync to cursor.
Telescope synced.
Okay, so now I'm going to go to the Pelican. Click.
Telescope slewing to target.
And let me stop the stacking.
Telescope slew complete.
So I moved over to the Pelican. So I gotta move up. So I gotta, no, it can't do it. It's a totally different camera body. That's the problem.
Telescope slewing to target.
I'm trying to move the Pelican up.
Telescope slew complete.
Yes, it runs on a 12 volt. I have 12 volt built into my mount, so I was able to easily I gotta move it up higher. So I'm gonna, okay, let's see.
Telescope slewing to target.
Move it up some more. Let's see what happens.
Telescope slew complete.
I'm trying to get the Pelican more in the field. Maybe one more bump up.
Telescope slewing to target. Telescope slew complete.
See where that ended up. Okay. So now let's go to average stack. Average stack enabled. Evening, David. Did you go drive the rocks today to get your camera? You mentioned you were going to go pick it up because of the postal strike. Oh, and Dewey, did you get the email from Jim O'Connor about the Grand Canyon Star Party? Okay. I'm going to try a little bit longer exposure. The Pelican seems to take a longer exposure than the North American. I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to stop this. I'm at 10 seconds. I'm going to go to the 16 where I have a matching dark. Okay. So I went to 16-second exposure, and let me find my 16-second dark. Enable, import, 16, open, enable. Hopefully 16 seconds doesn't blow it totally. Well, it almost did. Let me try raising the black point to 80. See what happens. Oh, a satellite coming in. Let me do another white balance. White balance. White balance. I'm at 80 to 150. Okay. Oh, I got to lower the saturation on that. It's way too red. Well, maybe I'll raise the 175, 80 to 175 on the histo. Okay, so let me change. Histo's 80 to 175. And then the exposure was 16, right? So erase exposure 16 seconds. Okay. Yeah, I did a white balance, which then shifted it to the red. I had all of the color parameters, everything's at default. I could lower the saturation a little bit, but all of the color parameters are at default. The white balance is where the automatic white balance, I'm going to click it again, see what happens. Well, let me see. White balance. Right now it's 0, minus 63, minus 23. But if I move the box to the top right corner, let's do it again. And see what I get. It was 0, minus 63, minus 23. 0.63 minus 21, so it's pretty close. Oh, let me do some live stacking. Now, let me do the average. I wasn't average stacking. Now I am. No problem, Dewey. It basically says if you volunteer at least 6 nights at the Star Party, you can get one of the camp spots, but they do tend to double people up since they only are given so many spots by the National Park Service. But there's a bunch of other tent camping spots there, and I think he said they're like 18 bucks a night. Another satellite coming in. Whoa, another satellite. They'll be there for a while since I'm average stacking 16-second exposure, so they'll be there. It'll be interesting to see the one that's coming in from the bottom right, where it ends up. Yeah, there's no problem as far as getting admission into the park for free. Volunteer, you just have to tell them that you're volunteering with the Star Party, and they let you in for free. We're not going to get there until Sunday, so we're going to miss the first night of the Star Party. But we'll be there Sunday through the following Saturday. I'm going to raise the black a little more and pull go to 95. I'm really cutting in. Okay. You really must be booking it to make it in 2 days. We take our time. Of course, we're towing a little bit more than you will. You'll be just driving your truck. We're towing that big trailer. So I just raised the histo 100 to 175. The histo. Let me change that. It's looking pretty good. What I like, if you look at the back of the neck, yeah, because I'm lazy, I guess, Matt. When you zoom in and you look at the back of the neck, I like looking at these features. That are visible. This little, almost like a, what you want to call like an elephant trunk that's coming out there. I had not seen that before. And I had noticed this the other night, this dark, windy, oh, wrong, unbelievable. It only changes width when you don't want it to. This little snaky black feature through here. It's like a little rift. Quite impressive. Fit to window. There it is. There's the whole baby. Somebody asked me about that the other day, the advantage. You'll have less dark field noise with the cooled camera. For some people, the cost differential, it's like $470 difference between the non-cooled and the cooled version. For me, the non-cooled version does well. I'll have to see how it does in the summertime around here versus the winter. Tonight it's not that cold. When you talk about Canadian cold, it's only 60 degrees here with 67% humidity. That's a pretty impressive view. Let me see, what else did I have over here to look at? Let me click. So I've looked at the Pelican. That's off the list. Hey, that's a good question, Matt. Not sure. Especially if you throw in the average stacking, you're going to average and stack out the noise. It's a toss-up. Some people want the cooling. I think it'll be beneficial here in the summertime when it's 95 degrees in the daytime. In the wintertime, probably go to regular 10C without the cooler would be good enough. I know 6946 is not in Cygnus. Why is... What is this? This is, what do they call this? They call this the Butterfly Nebula. It's near Gamma Cygni in the center. IC 1318. Let me see if I can hide that picture. Okay, close, and then let's go to is that it there? I'm not sure. Let me show the plottable image. Apply, save, close. Let's say this is the Butterfly Nebula. Let's slew to and center at...
Telescope slewing to target.
And let me stop the stacking.
Telescope slew complete.
And let's see where this is relative to the dome. Okay, there. Okay. All right. And now let's start the average stacking. This is called, I'm going to put the name on the top of the image. Butterfly Nebula. Let me put a name. IC 1318. Insignus. It's not too far. Not too far from the center star in Cygnus. Yeah, near Satyr. Not too far from Satyr. Yeah, I was looking at a list of all of the diffuse nebulae and sky tools, and I started picking fields to try tonight. I don't know what that feature is near the bottom. Let me zoom in on the sky tools image. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff in the field of view. I wonder if that's... I wonder if this is... I wonder if this is Satyr. Possibly. Yeah, I definitely have the helix on my list. I want to try the helix again. The helix right now is, let's see, let me get back to my cursor. So this is the butterfly. Click on it, helix. See if everybody can see this list. I made this list in Sky Tools today. And we just looked at the Butterfly Nebula. The helix right now, it might be a good time to go to the helix, do a meridian flip. But yeah, this is, I've never seen this region before. This is very nice. Okay, live stack, turn it off. Click. Let's go to helix. Helix. Interactive Atlas. Click.
Telescope slewing to target.